start this broadcast with breaking news that's coming in. An important notice has now come to the fore from the Indian mission as India-Canada face-off escalates. We're now given to understand that Indian visa services have now been suspended by at least one agency. That notice has now been put out by one agency. The Indian visa services have been suspended to Canada until further notice. That's the latest that we are gathering here on CNN News 18. This is just one agency is what we're learning. We're still yet to ascertain if there are more agencies that do provide these kind of services and have they suspended their services as well. Before now, BLS is one such agency that we have confirmation from that until further notice they have decided to suspend visa services for Indians that are seeking to travel to Canada. And what the basis of this suspension is a travel advisory that came to the fore from the Indian mission. This is the Indian Visa Application Centre Canada, which is BLS International. That's the agency that I was talking about. They have gone on to say that Indian visa services have been suspended till further notice. This is of course, then goes on to talk about the jurisdiction and different consulates in Canada. It talks about one in Toronto and in Ontario as well. But the latest that we are gathering for now is that BLS International, which is a visa providing agency, they have decided to suspend until further notice visa services. This, of course, comes in the midst of the diplomatic standoff that we are seeing between India and Canada over the kind of comments that came to the fore from the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. We've seen an advisory versus advisory between the two countries, an expulsion versus expulsion between the two countries as well. The standoff is only going to escalate with each passing day from the looks of it. This is the latest as far as ties between the two countries are concerned. We're learning that Indian visa services have now been suspended by one particular agency, which is BLS. The notification has been accessed by us here at CNN News 18, the ones that you see on your screen. Siddhant, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Yes, Siddhant.
Well, yes, that's right. So this is the fresh escalation that perhaps has been initiated by India. So far, we were reporting the steps that Canada is taking, and perhaps post that in a quid pro quo manner, India has also given a befitting reply. Now, this is something which India has initiated, and on the BLS website, the official website, it says that the visa services won't be available. And for further information, keep checking BLS website. Now, BLS is a outsourced partner, and perhaps BLS in collaboration with the High Commission and Government of India provide visa services to those who want to apply a visa for India in Canada. Now, this disclaimer, this information has reflected on the official website of BLS, a visa service provider. We are still awaiting some sort of an official, I must say, official statement from the Government of India or maybe Indian High Commission in Canada. But this is what is reflecting on BLS's website. The reasons that have been cited by BLS is operational reason due to which this visa service has been suspended. Perhaps, we are still awaiting Government of India to reply to this particular this particular suspension of the visa service. So the Canadians, those who want to come to India, can no more apply for visa because the services have been suspended. So it's a big setback and perhaps a fresh diplomatic escalation. This time, India has initiated it, and we are still trying to dig more information. What sort of operational, what sort of reason the Government of India is going to give, and right. But prima facie, it looks like that this is being done given the fresh standoff that has been started by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Right, so do stay on with me. Abhishek also joining us here on this broadcast to get us more perspective on this. Now, Abhishek, this is one such agency, the BLS International, which has decided to suspend these visa services until further notice. But is this the only agency, if we have more details on that?
There has been, we were checking the notification or the website of Indian High Commission, and they have not put out any dedicated notice that the Indian government has, for that matter, restricted any visa operation or suspended any visa operation. It's a service provider, BLS, that had suspended its operation for technical reasons. That has not been explained yet. But I mean, there could be possibility that some visa are being processed by the Indian High Commissions and the mission offices in Canada. More clarity on this will be out soon. We have been in touch with the officials of MEA whether there has been any reason or why these visa services have been abruptly suspended, and there has not been given any timeline till when this could be this could restart. It has been said that from 21st of September, the visa application operation center has been suspending its operation for operational reasons till further notice. So probably diplomatic row that has erupted in the last 2-3 days between India and Canada has started taking its toll on people-to-people engagement also between the two sides, and this is the latest in that series.
Right, the Indian missions advisory is what is the basis of this notification that has come to the fore. Is of course is at a time when we are seeing a standoff between the two countries diplomatically. Advisory versus advisory is also something that we saw yesterday as far as travel of the two countries, the citizens of two countries to the other is concerned. As far as expulsion of diplomats is concerned, both countries have decided to expel one diplomat from the receiving country. Now, so far, Siddhant, we've seen the kind of reactions that have come to the fore from the Trudeau administration. They have wholly and solely blamed this on India. Are they going to be blaming this escalation on India as well?
Well, yesterday I was going through some of the popular dailies and newspapers of Canada. Almost all of these newspapers are critical of Justin Trudeau's this position, this stand which he has taken against India. Point number one, that they don't have evidence to substantiate the claims that they are making. Point number two, when perhaps almost all major economies, main countries are focusing on Indo-Pacific strategies in these times when Indo-Pacific theater is emerging as a new theater of interest for many countries. Justin Trudeau is derailing that. And point number three, that it takes years for any two countries to come together and perhaps start collaborating in various sectors. India and Canada has had good bilateral ties, strong relations to people ties, but because of this particular position which has been taken by Justin Trudeau, perhaps the accusation that he has made on India, he has spoiled everything, and now both countries can only be back to the old times when there is going to be a regime change in Canada. And fourth, and the most important one, Mr. Trudeau has done wrong to his own people, his own people and the people living in Canada, because what he has done, he has fueled the divide which was existing in the society. Now, the Hindu community, the Sikh, pro-India Sikh Canadian community, they are living in constant fear. They are perhaps writing to the authorities, to the government for security, because they are now they have those who are vocalists, they are now being threatened, and they fear for their lives. So all these fiasco, this entire drama, this entire row has been initiated by Justin Trudeau and his government, perhaps think that they are only embarrassing themselves. None of the other G7 economies are backing them.
Right, do stay on with me, Siddhant. Abhishek also continues to be with us. Now, Abhishek, even as Justin Trudeau and his administration have been blaming India as far as Hardeep Nijjar's death was concerned in Surrey County, we have another Khalistani sympathizer that was shot dead in Winnipeg this morning. What is going to be the response of the government and the administration there? Because it is their law and order that they now need to be answerable on.
I mean, there could be some explanation from the Canadian government, and it is up to them to investigate and come out with the details. But we have seen in the past also there has been an open gang war among the Khalistani members themselves, and they have been, this gang war is for the dominance of group, which group will actually hold the sway in that region, and probably that is one of the reasons why Hardeep Singh Nijjar was also killed part of that gang war only, and that was the initial, anticipation also on his death. So the kind of terrorism or the extremism and violent agenda these Khalistani elements have tried to create in Canada and in other parts of the Europe also, it is ultimately going to impact them. It is ultimately going to bite them. This clear gang war is yet another example, the latest death that has happened of another terrorist or Khalistan sympathizer is in that series only, and we should correct the latest death also with the past killings of Khalistani terrorists in Canada and other parts of the world also, who have been falling victim to their own strategy, where their organization is falling apart, and there is clear fight among the groups, among several smaller groups, to dominate the overall propaganda machinery of Khalistan.
Right, the propaganda machinery is something that seems to be working overtime, Siddhant, and domestic compulsions is what is often attributed to the kind of reactions or the kind of comments that we've seen from Justin Trudeau and from within his administration or within his government. But domestically as well, it doesn't look like it's faring well for him, because his opposition too is using this as ammunition against him. The opposition there too is asking, where is the proof of the allegations that he's making?
That's right, Poonam. He is highly unpopular, and also he is looking at an opportunity to run for the office again. And perhaps some surveys, Poonam, are suggesting that he's only 6%. His party, not him, he is far behind in surveys, but his party is 6% behind the Conservative. And many in Canada also believe in this, that all this drama, this entire episode has been created only to make up for that 6%, only to do the cover up for that 6% for the Liberal Party. And that is why Mr. Trudeau is taking such a strong position, such strong stand against India. As I was mentioning, Poonam, that most of these, almost all popular dailies and newspapers in Canada are critical of Mr. Trudeau's this stand. And as you rightly said, the leader of opposition, his own people, his own Canada's own political parties are not supporting him. They said